Yep, good.
All right. Welcome. Shy whiff.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to episode 5 of Korea Talk. With me, of course, is Sam and Peter. Sam apparently has some sort of, looks like a dish towel.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, like.
You joined the Renegades.
This doesn't look like a real bandito to me. And then our guest this week is Aaron, who I believe everyone would know better as Stillwell on Twitter, and I believe same Stillwell on Reddit, too.
Yeah, I used to be the guy called Aaron17 on Reddit. More people might know me there, but yeah.
All right, you can introduce yourself with anything else you want to say.
No, I'm just fucking random, basically, and I just write a bunch of shit. And
Yeah, don't sell yourself, mate.
Monte Cristo, he tweeted out one of my articles. That was pretty sick. That's my life achievement.
All right. We all have few side
Yeah.
achievements here.
We do have very few, specifically me. So we're gonna start off with just the new patch came out, and Ekko
No.
Ekko was made available this week, and he had a few games.
Oh, God,
What do you
it's-
guys think about whether he should be played top, mid, jungle, if he should be played at all?
Well, yeah, his kit is obviously a bit too strong at the moment, so people are gonna play him like wherever.
Yeah, he's so strong he could be played fucking anywhere. But I don't know. It's
Oh,
like,
how do you
nah,
want to rub the bank wearing one of these? Like, this is fucking uncomfortable, man. Thing.
Well, if it's an actual bandana cloth, usually it's made to like fit, be nice, and it's not going to be like a towel that you use to dry your hands.
It's the same thing, like.
No, it's different fabric.
Oh,
Hey, you okay, man?
I can hardly breathe, man.
Oh, more nonsense. So I think I only see 2 actual games with him being played.
Yeah, I remember
But,
the CJ game.
Yeah, Coco played him and Catch played him. So didn't exactly get to see the best out of Catch, but
Gotcha.
because it is Catch. But
it's Sbenu.
I mean, we've seen him in other regions too, and it's been pretty interesting. There's been a few people that made him work out of the jungle as mainly tank,
Yeah.
and I still think his kit basically more or less is
Wait.
strong
No,
enough. Yeah.
No, Tank's the substitute mid laner for Najin. He hasn't played Ekko yet, mate. I don't know what he's talking about.
Tank doesn't exist. Tank is just a figment of your imagination.
Tank maybe will play Najin, but he'll never play Ekko, but he'll never be fielded onto the Najin team, so it's irrelevant. Like he could be the greatest player ever, and we never know because Lord Goong and his champion pool of 3 shall remain on the team for some reason. It's like he's this year's Zephyr. Maybe he'll be gone after this year, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, yeah, that was a pretty dumb idea," and then they'll be like, "What about Watch?" We'll leave him on. Watch. All the girls love Watch. We'll keep Watch on.
You went to every world. You can't not have a watch in your team. It's good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, job.
That's what it is. So why don't you bench him for the spring split, not being terrible, and then just bring him in for like the playoff run, the gauntlet. Just bring him in for the gauntlet. Win those games in a row. Win 9 games in 3 days, and look like a god, and then just stop playing.
What you don't understand is it's a ritual. So every year, Watch will perform like some kind of voodoo ritual on the enemies to make them play worse, i.e. the Katie arrows or something. But doing so, he'll have to sacrifice a part of himself, and then when he's regrowing that part, will be at the World Championships, where he inevitably can do much, and then the cycle will continue. The only way he gets good, like last year, he took the Katie Arrows families hostage and forced them to play badly. Next year, he's going to resort to voodoo rituals. The year after that, I don't know. There's something else he can use.
He's gonna marry He's gonna marry someone's sister and tilt them.
Yeah, blood sacrifices. Like he's got ways and means. You know, he knows what's up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, any other thoughts about Ekko besides The evil things Watch must do to remain relevant.
It's just too strong. I
Yeah.
want to see what it's like after a few nerfs and where he'll kind of fit. Because like right now, he's just so strong that you can basically just pick him, stick him anywhere, and he doesn't really fit. He's just kind of like super strong. So there's no real like he doesn't really fit into anything right now. He's just a bundle of strength that anyone can play. So.
The problem with Gamsu in Korea is that because Korea historically doesn't like new champions, because Korean teams are very rigid with how they practice the game, what champions they play, and there's very much like there's a pool of acceptable champions for players. It's probably in some ways the least innovative region, especially since season 4. I think the innovative time of Korea was like sort of season 3 really. Ekko doesn't really relevant in Korea because we saw one mid lane pick of it, and then we saw a jungle pick of it by the worst team. So it's not even not even really worth mentioning them. Not only that, but the number of assassin mid laners in Korea is an all-time low as well. Majority of people in Korea prefer control mages and play a supportive wave clear style. So I don't think Ekko is going to be particularly relevant in Korea. You might see a few kind of carry top laners pick it up or something like that, but right now it's just kind of a meh. Like, it's not like when Azir came out, that was like, holy shit, who's going to be the first person to do something fucking mental with Azir? It was a big control mage, and it was fucking, like, you had Frozen, Kuro, Faker, Easy Hoon, like, Tank, all these fucking guys ready to go off on it.
Wait, what was the last one?
Tank, that guy. You never
I think said Doom.
Never heard of.
Okay.
Or when Cassio got a rework and then became really good, like, it was like, who's going to be it? But Ekko, meh. Like, it's not going to be a big pick in career, I don't think.
That's pretty true. I mean, they have had some innovation, just tiny innovation.
The innovation in career comes from like a build path or like a set of strategies or a team composition. It does not come from an individual pick. Generally, they'll let the other, I will call them inferior, but call them what you want, regions, pick the shit, and then look at it and go, oh, that's going to be good, or that's not going to be good.
Are you calling North American LCS inferior? Did you not see their play this week?
No,
it was phenomenal.
I was talking about Turkey. I was talking about Turkey.
Tons of exciting games that went like 50 minutes when they should have ended not 50 minutes, and it was such a great play by everyone involved. I'm glad Kiwi Kid is still playing.
Kiwi Kid built a QSS second on Nautilus support.
Of course. Guy can't get CC'd. It's not like you have a shield that you can apply while she's CC'd.
Jesus. Oh, man. I could go on for hours about NA, but
yeah. But no, let's jump into the first game. Jin Air CJ. It was a bit of a letdown considering we thought it would be a bit more competitive, and CJ seemed to really not show up. And
the first game was good. I thought CJ played the first game okay. They were winning up until like 24 minutes, and then they did like a team fight around like a town. And then they like all ran in, like, oh wait, we can't fight this, and ran out, and then just died. Like, it was a classic example of if you're all going to make a mistake, just make the goddamn mistake. Like, the mistake was, they'd already made the mistake. Like, at that point, they ran off with nothing to kind of gain, you know what I mean? So, but I think they would play well up until that point. But Chasey, started styling on CJ, so it was like, I'm just going to fucking pick diddly and fucking wreck your whole life, guys. Like,
it was impressive.
I thought it was. I thought the series was pretty good for Jin Air just because, for whatever reason, I think I'm one of the. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I look at the Jin Air roster and I think like individually they're pretty damn good all across the board. I mean, like Trace, Chaser, GBM, Captain Jack, Pilot, some pretty damn solid players. So I would expect them to be above CJ. Basically, like. Always. But
when you run it down man for man, Jin Air are a good team, but I have trusted Trace in the past. Really? KHQ days. At this point, I feel like I'm an abused girlfriend, and he is my cheap boyfriend. And every time I say, you know what, I trust you, Trace. You're not going to let me down in the playoffs, mate. Oh, yeah. And he's like, no. I'm like, right. Well, this time you're going to do well. You're not going to go bang some slut in the next weekend. We're going to make this relationship work, and then he fucking chokes again in the playoffs, and I'm fucking back to square one. I love you, Trace, but I hate you.
Yeah.
See, I like Trace.
His girlfriend by Trace.
Whenever they picked up Sky, the Zenix former top winner, whenever they picked him up, I think last preseason, I had hopes. I was like, Trace, you're good, but bring Sky in and mold him.
Oh no, I looked up Sky lately. He plays a LPL team now. So
yeah, he got bought off to China, and he's going to be in a fucking gold mine for the next 2 years. God damn it,
China.
Fucking China.
I had the same thought when Fly was in there, because Ganked My Mom really turned his entire career around this past year. But Jin Air to me has always been like the team that's just too hesitant to do anything. They're like, guys, but my ult's not up. Yeah, but you're Udyr. I know, but my ult's not up. I haven't skilled it yet. We can't go in. It's like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first one was decent, but the second one was not a very interesting match with Space Vayne pick and
Space Vayne.
Chaser went even more ham.
Yeah, he did. He went ridiculous in this one. But what do you guys think of Captain Jack being in over the team's name of Pilot, who can pilot the plane?
Everyone is so high up on Pilot. I think he's really good in ADC, but I mean, for whatever reason, Jin Air just sees so much more success with Captain Jack in than they do with Pilot, and I think a lot of that has to do with like late in the season, last season, whenever full tank was in, basically, it was all Cinderhulk. They kept playing Pilot, and he kept playing Ezreal and Corki, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
But Captain Jack, Captain Jack is right now. I think he's overall better. He plays more ADC champs. A lot more of the typical ones, not the AD casters that Pilot excels on. And I think Pilot's going to get there. But right now, I think Jack is a little bit better, and I think he's a win now option, which I think is what Jin Air should be thinking about. Looking at Trace and GBM, they're not getting better. They're not going to they're peaked. They've been around a while.
GBM's improving all the time. I remember 2 years ago, man, shit the bed in every game he played. No, he's a beast.
Hey, he was good at Orianna, Zed, and sometimes at Ziggs.
I'll never forget watching GBM. He went into lane as Zed versus Dade's Kha'Zix. Dade had a fucking a flask, and he had 2 Doran's blade or something. And then he lost an all-in and got fucking solo killed. I was like, it's fucking Kha'Zix. This wasn't Kha'Zix was some beast. It was shit back then as well. It was just Dade just fucking going
I know the play you're talking. Yeah, it's.
The worst part is Dade is shit in lane. But he was just like, fuck it, I can kill you right now.
GBM at those modes.
So, no, GBM has definitely stepped the fuck up.
I mean, he's getting better. He's getting better and better. But, I don't know. I feel like Jin Air is in a win now mode that they should be. I think skill-wise, their team across the board is kind of at or near their peak. And I think they should be going for a Worlds run right now instead of grooming Pilot, who I think he's good, but I think he'll be much better next year than he will be right now. And I think he might hold the team back right now. I mean, I think I wrote an article on this. Is Jin Air is 14 and 18 this entire season with Pilot, and they're 13 and 3 with Captain Jack. They're just seeing more success with Captain Jack.
That's true, but is the success in spite of Captain Jack or because of Captain Jack?
I think it deals with champion pool too, because we even talked about Pilot has had a very limited champion pool of pretty much Corki, Ezreal, Graves, and when those kind of started to fade, it was clear that he was struggling a bit to carry. When you have,
but Corki's back.
That's true.
Yeah, but Sivir is still the greatest pick to do of all picks, and we all know someone is amazing.
Jack.
Yeah,
Sivir.
But to be honest, for Pilot, he did pick up a lot of different champions outside of his casters before he just got benched again. So I'm good.
He's played Vayne a couple times. He's got a win on Urgot, win on Callista, and Sivir and Ezreal. I mean, he's got 4 wins out of 4 plays for the last 4, and he's played a few more Corki. I mean, he's played a bit more, but I agree that if you want to pick up if you want wins now, I mean, Captain Jack is not a bad AD carry. It's just that he has a bit of a better champion pool as to what's currently meta. And if you keep both of them, Corki is going to come back. I mean, he always comes back with some sort of stupid Triforce buff right before World. So, I mean, I think it's good to hold on to both of them. They're very, unlike other teams that have kind of similar play styles that they switch out, you have very different AD carry kind of entire play styles with them. And that switching them, having both of them available to you, I think is very, very good. But definitely Captain Jack for win now, but Pilot for win next year.
The advantage that Captain Jack brings over Pilot is that Captain Jack obviously is a massive veteran and is, in all likelihood, probably the team captain of Jin Air based on his experience. I mean, obviously, Trace is like 45 years old at this point. So, you know, but Captain Jack, you know, he's been around since day one. You know, like been around since season 2. I mean, I watched this guy in the OGN Invitational.
Holy shit!
At the end of at the start of season 2. You know, where CLG
like back in 2011.
Yeah, where CLG were playing with Hotshot GG in the top lane, like, and man was still going in. So, like, Captain Jack, and I remember when Captain Jack joined Jin Air, and there was a interview he did where he said that the practice regime on Jin Air wasn't as rigorous as the one that was on CJ, and he was talking to the coaches and working on it. So it's clear that he did a lot of work with Jin Air at the start to turn around their practice regime, to help the coaches kind of find their groove and build a good team atmosphere. And you know what? I agree, but the other sad thing as well is we don't get to see Sweet play. We see Che play, who I like Che, but I want to see Sweet's Bard more, and I want to see Sweet because I think he's a player on the up and up and up. And I think that Pilot and Sweet is a more complete bottom lane and is more likely to carry you than Captain Jack and Che. But I will agree that the other teammates play better when Captain Jack is on the field, and I think it's because he's that calming veteran, whereas when Pilot plays, it becomes, can Pilot carry? No, they lose. Oh yes, Pilot carry, they win. So you have a more well-rounded team with Captain Jack, but we'll see what happens in the future, I guess.
I think I was going to bring up that Sweet end versus Che, but there's also, I mean, with GBM, I don't think GBM is like a fully known quantity yet. He's still improving, but he's not going to be like the crazy. He's not going to have every game where he just crazy takes over the game and wins it. But he's always going to be there and do enough damage and be what he needs to be with positioning. But yeah, I do want to see more Sweet, specifically if they're going to keep playing Captain Jack. Any other thoughts on this CJ versus Jin Air?
Not much.
The game 2 was a real big shit show from CJ. Like a team pump. Like they're like just so on tilt at that point. They were like, "I'm carrying the game. No, I'm carrying the game. No, I'm carrying the game." Like, and then obviously when everyone tries to carry the game, no one carries the game. Like they went full solo queue, and like it was funny at one point. Like they were playing. The worst part was they were playing like. We heard on the cast like, "Oh, they're playing well, but their com's so shit that they can't like." You've literally made it impossible for you to win this fucking game, you idiots.
Not a fan of Cinderfish?
No. Cinderfish, I think, is
good.
A lot of shit that he doesn't need to get.
So we're going to back to the Space Vayne.
But it was just, you can't have Vayne, Cinderfish, and I think it was LeBlanc as well.
LeBlanc, Rek'Sai, and Nautilus, yeah.
Oh, someone doesn't get to style on them in this game, and apparently it was all of them by the end of it. Like, it was just silly, like, no wave clear, fucking...
No tank line.
Well, it's Cinderfish, but that's it.
He went Trinity Force though.
Yeah.
He went Skirmisher's Cinder Hulk into Triforce, so he wasn't a tank. He was like, "That's it, I'm gonna win."
Yeah, he went behind the lane and was like, "I'm building Trinity Force anyway, boys." Like, going all in.
I don't even know.
So I don't know how much you guys want to talk about this Sbenu's Coup Tigers match, but. Coup Tigers. I mean, we can talk about Coup, but Sbenu's doing some really great stuff in place. They're really going to secure that spot. They really got it on lockdown.
Are they actually gonna win a game? From Sam? Yeah, but it's serious. I mean, a series.
No.
Oh, a series? No, we've already said that. No, they're going to win a game.
There's no chance they want to. They don't want to set this entire split. They won't. They're not good.
Calling it now. They'll beat SKT randomly against all odds. They'll do it somehow.
It'll be games. Easy.
No, it's gonna be fucking Faker, and then you're gonna have everyone be like, oh, Faker's dead.
Remember, Sbenu technically have a positive match record. No, they have an equal match record against SKT because the two teams played yet this split.
I think so. Yeah, because SKT has to play KT and Najin this.
Okay. Well, anyway, Sbenu Prime, the team that became Sbenu, had a winning record against SK Telecom T1S. Remember that? Remember when there was all the allegations of match fixing?
Oh yeah.
We had Bank, Melee, Caitlyn Ultimates.
The two SKT. Yeah, it was the group of the two SKT teams, and then KTA. And then or Prime,
and Prime beat SKTS randomly. I think if there's any upset to happen, tell you what, if you're a betting man, get your bets in now. Sbenu 2-0 SKT, calling it now. You're gonna be rich. Put a pound on that, you make $1,000. Send me a tenner.
Are you actually involved with Unicorn or something that you're doing this, sponsoring Sbenu?
No. I don't
They've
like
got nice shoes, apparently.
I'm gonna wear them, but I'm not looking for a Sbenu sponsorship.
Okay.
They got a lot of nice shoes you can shake.
Yeah. No, Sbenu is shit.
So what do you guys have thought about Coup? Because they've improved over the past couple weeks, and again, it is just a Sbenu, but they did just completely dumpster.
Well, I think it's notable how now Coup is like going away from Prey carrying like major games. Like they just let him on the control, like or Corki or like Silver mostly. I think he does his role fine and like that, but it's good that like more of the carry roles are more divided to like Kuro and Map right now, because
Kuro's taking a much bigger role, like primary carry role, which is good to see. I mean, I knew he had it in him.
Well, he showed it like in some games last split, but like
you saw flashes of it, but you never saw like a consistent series where he was the primary person they put all their eggs into.
And he got solo killed by Easy Good in lane, so
a lot. He solo killed a lot. But
he got fucking wrecked in that final. Like, that was fucking.
That was pretty shameful. Yeah.
At one point, I was looking over the booth to see if like fucking Golden Blue had jumped in or something like that. It was that fucking bad. Like, it was not a good show from Kuro that final. Like, but no, he's clearly redeeming himself, but he still has a lot of work to do, and he still needs to take down an A tier mid laner to be, claim an A tier mid laner right now. What, he's like B tier right now? Like, he'll carry some games. He's like on the Goon tier. I want to see him step up again.
With a better.
Oh God, no, he's not Goon tier, you fucking prick.
Well,
no.
He ain't
We'll get to
Goon tier.
Goon later. We will get to Goon later. Do not.
Goon is like literal. Like, no, he is
Not relevant right now. Get to him later.
No.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Kuro's good.
It takes a special bad to make be Goon tier.
And I liked the fact that he picked Twisted Fate. I think Twisted Fate is always an underplayed pick.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly any meta, because I think you can control the game so well with it if you're good with TF. And when he had some weird ultimates, he had some good ones as well. So there was that one where he ulted under the tower and just died immediately. I was like, oh, that was good ult there, wasn't it? Like fucking supplied. Like
he's lagged a little bit. No, that comp they ran, Evelyn Twisted Fate, good picks. Like,
remember the Twisted Fate Bard comp? That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was
what Samsung.
Samsung made themselves look good with that amazing comp.
It was like Nocturne Twisted Fate. What was it? Nocturne Twisted Fate Bard.
No, it's Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai, yeah.
It was Rek'Sai.
It was fun shit.
Yeah, a lot of global stuff for TP.
All needed was the Shen top lane and the Karthus support, and they were ready to go.
So what did you guys think of Hojin this series? Because he was played Evelyn both times and built Banner of Command in the first game.
Oh, it's Sbenu. I just...
You're right.
I'm sorry.
It's hard to judge. It's hard to judge a mediocre or a career mediocre player whenever he looks good against a. What is Sbenu at this point? They're 0-7, 0-8,
8 now.
Well, if you look at games, they're 1-16, so that's even paints an even worse
They're
picture.
one. All right, yeah. Okay, so it's tough to judge a career mediocre jungler whenever he finally shows up against a 1-16 team that is purely amateur. It's tough to respect it.
I mean, against Anarchy, they put Wisdom back in, so they have really not much faith in Hojin themselves.
I don't think either are that particularly good, and
I still think Wisdom has the better upside with at least adding early pressure, which is something that Ku really got punished for not having.
The problem with Wisdom, though, is that sometimes he can just lose games single-handedly.
Yeah,
which is an issue.
Hojin does the same.
Hojin did the same. And Hojin's a guy who's so uncreative that he can't even think of a gamer tag. His gamer tag is his name. Like, he had the choice twice as well. Twice. He played so badly under his first name that he was like, oh, I'm going to go to my other name. I don't know which was his first name, which was second name, Korean name.
Lee Hojin. Yes.
He started as Hojin and then he went to Lee and now he's back at Hojin.
Yeah.
So.
Hojin would be his actual first name, and Lee would be family.
When you think about all the cool names that some Korean pros have, and like, sometimes you just put a bunch of letters together like Smeb or whatever. He's just like, nah, Hojin, my actual name. Like, he looks at other people like, fucking idiot. Why would you like give yourself a fun name? Like, my actual name, idiots. Like, not only that, Lee is the most boring name in all of Korea anyway. Pretty much the whole of Korea is called Lee. Like, it's like the Dave of, he's like, Steve on fucking Rocket. Even he's a creative prick. Like, at least Steve's name isn't actually Steve. It's like something like Claude or something. Or Steve. Like, at least that's kind of funny. Like, that's just like someone being called Dave and then calling himself Dave. Like, no one cares. Like, so fuck Hojin and fuck it. Retire already, you shit bastard.
Alright, let's continue.
That was quite the rant.
About the name.
But the best part about Lee was the competition between Lee and Eve. If they could get if Lee could be playing Eve and Eve could play Lee,
it never happened.
There would be no way to decide who's who.
They did that, didn't they? Like, Eve playing.
It was very close. No, it got to the point where Eve was playing Eve and Lee was playing Lee.
Oh,
it would have been so better if they switched because there's no way to discern who's who.
Eve's coming. Eve.
You would just have to say Samsung's jungler and Ku's jungler.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, good times. So much as good as when that one of the blind pick games where 3 of the 5 skins were the same, and it was like 4 or 5 champions were the same. Okay, so now we have the next game, the illustrious SKT versus IM. So we had another embarrassment of IM, but this time at the hands of Easy Hoon. And I don't know how much there is to say about here besides SKT can crush bad players with not Faker.
You know, with IM, like, I looked at this roster whenever they first got together. I was thinking, Apple, whenever he, back in the day, he was a fairly solid top laner. He had, some flashes. Tucson, mechanically, he's skilled. I mean, he came out of Sony. Highly touted solo queue player, one of the big IM grabs. He sucked at support, so they put him in jungle. Frozen is obviously a god. Nothing new there. He always looks like a god.
He's inconsistent as fuck.
And then
even Kuro looks at him and goes, "Mate, you need to step it up and fucking play well in both games, not just in one."
Hey, whenever Kuro was back on IM, he had better players to work with. Like, Frozen's got fucking dog shit around him. But sucks.
Yeah, but it's really
Ignore-
easy to look great when you're surrounded by dog shit.
Yeah.
That's
True. But I don't know. I mean, Frozen's shown a lot. I think I would have liked to see Najin Frozen, but that's just me.
I'd like to see fill in a name that's not Gung Najin. Like Najin fill in the name of a mid laner.
No, but to go back to Frozen, like it's like, you know how it'll work. How like let's say you work with like 10 people every day, and there's like say there's a couple of girls you work with, and one of them is like she's all right looking, she's not amazing, but at work your mind plays tricks and you think actually she's pretty good looking, like because that's all you see all day, so your mind plays tricks on you, and all the thugger colleagues you have just like, you know what, I think like Frozen in this situation is actually pretty good looking, like maybe I could get on that, maybe I could ask her out, and you see her outside, you're like, oh no, she's actually good. Like, actually, I don't want anything to do with that. Like that's Frozen right there. It's easy for him to look good because everyone around him is so fun.
So she's Jerry's because it's the only place she looks
Frozen
good.
I am.
Yes, Frozen looks good because everyone else around him is ugly, and so your mind plays tricks on you, which make you think that Frozen could be good. So no, Frozen is not. Frozen. I think there's a reason that Frozen isn't on a team that isn't called I Am. No one else wants them.
I disagree there. I think once he gets off I Am, he's going to show what he really is. I mean, fucking Kuro was on I Am for 4 splits.
He was on I Am.
Just consistent. He was on I Am too. They tried qualifying for spring. They failed. Winter, spring, and he got on Sword, and he started looking good. You know, and then he gets picked up by Kudu, and he's a pretty good mid laner, and everyone kind of recognizes it. And I think that's kind of the same thing that's going to happen with Frozen. Once he gets on a better team, once you have better players around you, like you're going to look better. Pretty simple.
Yeah, he was with them for almost a full year before he went to Sword.
It was over a year.
Yeah, March to May.
I definitely think Frozen has something, but yeah, it's really hard to do anything right now in I Am.
That's my issue with Frozen though, is the champion pool he's known for is going to be very niche, whether it's in meta or not, and that's the issue. Is where Coco is known for playing Bounce Cassidon, he'll always be relevant.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
next. Can't bother with SKT shitting on some shits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing easy.
It was just SKT dominating.
I think it's
We
funny.
saw-
I Am
You saw the
actually.
Zerat's portal.
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ.
that is the standard BM for Korea, I think. Zero Portal. Pretty sure. It first started with Banner, but then they realized Banner was good, so they had to go to another item that for BM, so they went to Zero Portal. 'Cause that's actually,
Where's the Wrecker?
I think they actually did that once. I'm not sure.
No,
Is that
Afro
item in the
did that.
game?
Oh, is that
Afro did that on Bard.
Right.
Instead of it.
More tower dives.
They only had 2 towers up at that point, though, which is hilarious. Next game, we have Anarchy versus Samsung, which was truly Samsung hype death.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I rewatched the second game because it was so funny to see Samsung mentally break down during that game. Like they had no idea what to do. They could not handle the Mickey split push at all.
Mickey's a kind of player. He's clearly quite talented, and he's clearly got over a lot of the issues he had in China. But like he's the kind of player where like if you let him play like this kind of, if you play his game, he'll go off and he'll play really well. But if you're an organized team and you shut him down properly, he won't go off. So like, but I don't think he has a pretty good player. I just think he wants to just like play solo queue, like play an OGN like occasionally.
Yeah.
I think he's really like properly dedicated player. But if you play Mickey's game, like he'll fuck you up basically. Like he's that kind of guy. Like so when you lose to Mickey, it's like, well, you played his game, mate. So he got into your head and he messed you up. And he's quite good in that sense, I think.
Okay. Samsung had no right to lose. I mean, Anarchy should not have won that second game, but they have Bart, And they're actually deciding to split push 2 back when Zed is strutting their base. I just like, if you just ult the turrets or ult enemy team, kill the turrets, and then finish the Nexus. Like, they had so many possibilities at the game. They got stopped like 2 times at Baron. They got baited into the split push and then chicken out. It's like constantly the same moves just because Mickey was around her inhibitors. That was funny to see, but also pretty sad for Samsung. It was looking like they were finally doing some work in the beginning of splits, and now their shotgun is really, really poor. The Anarchy got under their skin so easily. His casting is also fucking insane, actually.
Well, yeah, his picks are insane. If he can get what he's good on, he's going to make a huge splash, regardless of if you camp him early.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really see Anarchy even falling out of OGN unless, depending on how many people they have to go through relegations, whether it's bottom 3 or bottom 4. I mean, I think they're probably good enough. They take at least, if they lose, they at least take 1 game, which is very helpful for points. Is that there's only been 2 times they've been blanked on, and 2 times they've been 2-0'd, but outside of this week, it was against Jin Air and just Jin Air, and this week against Ku, the other game. The only other times they haven't won a game in a series, even if they've lost. So
yeah, even if they do get relegated and have to go through it, they won't get relegated. Like, Green Challenge is fucking awful. So
don't see that happening either.
Individually, that team is they're enough to
good enough to
survive
stay.
Their team.
They're good enough to stay within the system, but don't want to strive for more. Which, I mean, if that's their choice and they want to do it and keep staying in this season, they're fun to watch and they make some interesting games because they usually take one. But if they want to just keep doing that, that's fine. Just don't say you want to win Worlds and then continue to do what they're doing and have Hachani be your coach.
I think they could be a lot better. They could be a lot more than what they already are, but
yeah, they don't seem to really.
It comes down to motivation if they want to do it or not.
The Copenhagen Wolves of Korea. We're just quite happy to stay in this.
But CW tries to like stay.
Yeah.
And they paid for Freeze this year, so it's like they're trying to. But
hey, when they took Freeze, no one wanted him. Like let's be honest. Like
yeah, but he actually just stayed.
But
Freeze
rather than kids, and now they all have worse AD carries. Like Freeze, like when they got Freeze, he was like the fucking bottom of his career. Like obviously, he played well, but no, it's the same. I think Anarchy, like, because of the streaming deals they've got and stuff like that, like they're the only team that really streams in Korea, like regularly anyway.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's indicative of how there was that. What was the other team that did that? Was it the Alien? Which is weird to hear. I think it's the same for Anarchy. So while they'll have players go off and stuff like that, like really they're just there to provide good games, and that's why you hire Hachani as your coach, because he's a funny guy and he always brings the fun games.
Oh, Hachani. So anything else more to say about this game? Any player, I mean, besides Samsung kind of rolling over and not being that great anymore, is there anything else besides Mickey showing off some?
I think Fury has to stop playing Corky. I mean, he does so much better on like champions like Lucian and things he can really kite with and stuff. Fury on Corky.
And it can shine.
Yeah. Fury is like the star sort. Yeah, he is like definitely like the best player, pretty much together with support with Ray.
He's the best player.
What do you say, Aaron?
He's the best player.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's the best player. So like, if you give him like the stuff that he has more like help support you with Corky, just poke and then push turrets, you're not gonna get those wins because he needs to carry. He needs to have the champions that can carry alone, and Corky does really.
The irony of Samsung as well is that their 3 best players, they can only play 2 at a time because they can't play Wraith and Luna at the same time unless you do an IM. So like they've got luck. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter which bot lane they use because their bot lane's really good anyway. But the rest of their map's a bit shit. Like Crown is ugh, and then Eve is like ugh, and then Cuvée is even more like ugh, ugh. So it's like what's you know, like they create. And they have the prestige of like being a sort of a historic Kesper team behind them, but that's all they're running off at this point is like sort of the prestige and whatnot. Like, you know, there are even arguments that Samsung shouldn't actually get an automatic berth into OGN because of how they just change all their players and stuff like that. Now, I didn't quite agree with that, and I think that next year maybe Samsung could be good if they can get some better players. If we see some of these players return from LSPL, and they can snap up a few good players here and there, but. Right now, like, it's just Samsung are still in a big state. I mean, you will be when you lose your 10 best players. But sorry, they lost Sketch as well. So when you lose, like, and they lost Huni.
They lost Gamsu, Peekaboo.
Sorry,
everyone. Huni.
Yeah, and you lost. Well, Gunza lost ages ago, but you lose like your entire, like, even the listed subs. Like, because remember, Huni wasn't even a listed sub. Like. His job was go up against X-Plot them all day. That was his job. And like when you lose all of that, like, and you 3 coaches as well, and you got 1 coach left, like you're going to be fucked for a bit. So yeah, Samsung, it's like watching a state of healing. Really, still in recovery. By the way, Pinya, your mic keeps cutting out.
Yeah, I think I'm lagging a bit, but I can manage. I'm on at least a solid connection, not the other crap I've been on before, so. We have KT versus Sbenu, and more people playing top lane Riven.
I like it.
I kind of like it. I just think someday just thought that it's Sbenu, and I also want to play Riven. If Smap gets to play Riven, I get to play Riven, so. I think that's why they kind of just went to conflict Riven. I mean, he played the game afterwards. Like, someday just wanted to play stuff that did damage and not play a tank for 2 games. I feel like that was the case, really. I think Riven is really is something solid right now. Because you can also go Black Cleaver, which is pretty good. Because you get like 40% CDR instantly with only 2 items, and then you can just dash around the whole time, and if you get just that 1 good engage with stun and your ult, you can do so much AoE damage with Tiamat or a Hydra.
It's good. Yeah, but the thing is, if you get lane swapped on, she's pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah,
that's just her big downside, is that she's shitty in lane swaps.
What did we think about Edge playing over Najin?
I was surprised, but he did it. Well, again, it's Sbenu. Like, you can't. Like always, you will say it's Sbenu. You can't actually make good reads, even if they play like super well. Like it's Sbenu. Like he played well. I was surprised to see him because Najin was doing quite well.
But the interesting decision is why they chose to play with Edge over Najin. Now, again, we can say, oh, it's Sbenu, but are they just? I don't know, like, is Najin falling out of favour with the KT coaches? Like, what? There must be reasoning behind that other than it's just simply Sbenu. Because in a game like that will allow you to try out player combinations and stuff like that. And we saw Edge briefly in the OGN, like, kind of pre-season at the end of season 4. But
yeah, but that was Najin. Najin was actually playing like shit in the preseason, so
yeah. Like, I think Edge played well, and I think, he's a player who could grow and stuff like that, but I wonder why, in that particular game, they chose to put him in both games. Like, I can understand they put him in 1 game, then they switched out in Najin in the second one, but unless Najin was ill or something like that, because sometimes it's just something weird like that, like, oh, a player's ill, or a player doesn't feel like playing, or whatever, but I don't know, like, Najin is, he's kind of the star of KT, really, and it seemed... I mean, you laugh, but he is like, he's.
It's true. Like
him and Someday are considered, the like KT got, when they were doing well off the fact they had strong solo lane, but diverse champion pools and could really punish lane mistakes. And now we don't see Nagane anymore, who's especially such a veteran of OGN and LCK.
I think Nagane's shit.
I won't go that far, mate.
Yeah, but Arrow is more shit, so.
I think Arrow's shit too, but I think that's the old KT back.
Real.
Like, they could be a seriously good team if they had a much better mid and a ADC that could lane properly.
Oh yeah, and score jungle, that's just fucking fine and dandy, isn't it, mate? Like,
hey,
Score's fine in the jungle.
Score's probably like the second best jungler in Korea right now.
What?
Like,
behind Bengi, Chaser, and Tom.
No, you can't put it Tom. You can't put it Tom.
He is better than Bengi. Like,
I'm sorry, but you can't sit there and praise score and then say watch his shit. Like, that doesn't really work. Like, you have to, you know.
Watches played all right.
Like,
I think Watches needs to be replaced, but I mean,
score isn't
played all right.
Somebody who in solo queue has been like, prefer ADC, and then somebody's taken ADC off him, like Arrow, and he's like, alright, I'll jungle then, and he's just like, oh, I have to play Rengar, guys, so like, enjoy, like.
Oh. I mean, KT in general, like, KT over the board, all over the board, doesn't have like the best scenery, but like, they make it kind of work right now.
I think, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I think with the Najin and the scorer versus Watch, both players probably aren't playing to the best, but they're not the first place you'd go to make the team better. And I think that's enough. I mean, there's obviously, at least we can all agree, Arrow is the name for KT, and Goong is the name for Najin. That if you want to truly improve the team with one specific change, that's where you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still think Score is definitely but is definitely good enough to continue to play on in the team as jungle. He's fallen. I'd say he's fallen off a little bit from what he did in spring, but he's still a significant player. Just
he's more than
don't play
serviceable for this team.
Don't play Rengar.
Score's problem as well is KT's traditionally has really strong junglers. I mean, we think about it, both Insec and Kakao, both
on one team,
both come from KT, and now it's like they go to Score kind of thing. Like, if Najin always has strong top laners and CJ always has strong top laners as well, like KT having like strong junglers is kind of that thing, and Score is not a jungler who kind of carries the KT kind of pride in their jungler well, you know what I mean? So
he is not Kakao.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, like, you've got to replace Arrow and Score. I think are your two big weak points to replace before you can look at anything else, really. Especially since you have another mid laner on the bench already. Try another ADC. Like, there's got to be somebody, you know. Like
King Zero, man, he's sitting in fucking Challenger, and you know, he's never gonna make it.
LPL. He's not in Challenger. He's in LPL. Barely, but he is there.
Oh, wow. Well, that's even more depressing. No, but Score, I think, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like cutting out. No, like Score. I don't know jack shit about the team dynamics in KT, but, I mean, guy's been around KT since they were, like, formed, so... I mean, I don't know how vocal of a player he is, but I would imagine if anyone's a team leader, it might be him. Like, him and Someday are like the longest running members on that team, I believe.
Yeah, since StarTel turned
He's
into
longer running
KT.
than Sunday. He was in the original KT roster lineup with Ryu, Crazy Reagan, and Maffa. He was on the original KT. But you know, so like he is the old longest running KT player, really since KT roster have been in League of Legends. So I suppose in that sense you've got to give him his props. But I don't know, just being a legacy player isn't enough, I don't think. And I don't know. For me, it'll always be a shame because I always thought that Score would have been good if they kept both Score and Arrow as ADCs and played them off. You know, one goes ham and the other one definitely doesn't go ham, as in Score. forward, but score just roll swap to jungle. Really, I think out of like desperation more than anything. But I don't know. No,
I was thinking another reason that I think score is looking more than serviceable right now is just because jungle meta. Like, what are the best 3 champs in jungle right now? Like, shit's not hard, or shit's not easy to punish. You know, it's really easy to get away with dumb moves, bad map movements and stuff on those champs. Like, the meta right now makes mediocre junglers look good. Like, I don't know, I hate it. And it makes a lot more mechanically skilled junglers kind of come down to their level.
So, anything else to say? I mean, it is another Sbenu series, so anything else to add?
Feels like we fucking talk about it, Sbenu on fucking shows.
They're terrible.
They play like 10 series a week or something. Like, that's half my life watching Sbenu.
No, but they didn't play a lot in the beginning.
When
are we going to get to the point where Sbenu only gets to play 1 series a week? That's what I'm fucking looking forward to.
Next week.
Next week, man.
Next week they only have 1 against Anarchy, so.
Yeah, next
just
week
make a
is
pledge
huge
not to
game.
talk about that series. Like, it's just, I don't matter. I'm not going to talk about it. Like,
all right, that's for next week.
It's about as relevant as the IM Sbenu series.
yeah.
So then we have the actual quality series that not only did it live up to not only did we hype it up, it did live up to that of the CJ versus Najin. Now the biggest thing is the similarities they had between the two team, like the first game and the second game, it was pretty outstanding to see almost the exact comps picked back to back.
Yeah.
Sam, your webcam. Are you joking or your webcam drops? I think he's joking.
He's gonna come back with an actual band.
He found one. Alright, let's continue for now. He seems to be gone.
So while he's gone, we can quickly make fun of Najin without him going on ridiculous rants. So what did you guys think of Gung's Cassiopeia in the first 2 games?
It was
fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was pure shit. It was bad.
A
Game
lot
2
of
was
missed ults.
a lot of missed. Yeah, everything. Yeah.
It was the goon I expected.
It was amazing. They even. I mean, it was a little bit better in game 2. But the major thing was what I think that helped them win is just the fact that Ambition didn't have Gragas anymore, so he was such an annoyance in team fights. And with Watch playing Eve, he actually had impact in the team fights as well. He could flank pretty effectively, and he did way more like damage and was an annoyance in team fights. While in game 1 he was just Rex and died pretty much every time he tried to win. Because they just killed him. They saw him just kill him. Game 2 was just better in my opinion just because of the jungler difference. And Gung actually hitting an ult now and then. Sometimes.
It also didn't help that Duke got a Quadra when in 1 TP.
Yeah,
he walked out with 4 kills later.
Yeah.
Classic Duke.
Yeah.
It is.
The Duke and OQ had a bigger lead in game 2 as well, and that definitely helped as well. Which was good for them.
Yep.
And then, I mean, then we just going through the games quick before we just kind of go deeper into it. The next game we got to see back onto LeBlanc, and we got to see, I don't know if we were privileged to see it or forced to see, watches Lee Sin on the new skin. Ding ding!
It wasn't bad actually for one. Lee Sin was pretty acceptable in that game, I think. I mean, it's CJ giving up Goon a comfort pick, and then if Goon gets a comfort pick, then Najin is hard to stop right now. Because then all lanes do well, and then it's just gonna over. And they even got Sivir, so yeah, they just in general had a good comp, and Goon got fed. Yeah. Typical Najin story.
If it's one thing you have to give Goon, it's the fact that, I mean, you give him his comfort picks, he will show up. You can't give him his comfort picks, and if you do, you better have a fucking plan to deal with it.
And they didn't. They blind picked a pro comp when the LeBlanc was still open, and they had to pick. Like, Yeah, that was a good pick and man from CJ right there. A full
Like
squish
blind
team,
picking Varus.
full squish
God
team,
bless.
and Goong's best champion is still open on the table. Good
Not
job.
only a
Super.
poke comp, but like a super immobile poke comp.
Mm-hmm.
Immobile, squishy, like, it's all. Goong was
With
having-
only one disengage of Janna, and then while you have Eve jungle, so it's like if they engage, okay, we're dead.
He played fucking Varus mid into Sivir Alistar. That's incredible. That's actually inspiring. Wow.
You can not take the risk of picking Varus into Sivir. That doesn't work. That never works. You always have to pick or ban the Sivir if you want to play a fucking Pokemon like that. Or like I think Ku did it with Karma, but that's still kind
Yeah, it
of
was Gorilla.
But I'm not sure if Sivir was actually on the enemy team. But then at least you have something.
Yeah, I think the game they won with Karma, they picked it into Sivir because that created the speed up to counteract Sivers.
That worked, but yeah, you actually have to pick that.
It's good to see Najin playing to their strengths more as well. When you have such monstrously strong side lanes, it's good to see them kind of playing more to their strengths and really kind of relying on Duke and letting Duke carry a game more and make these big TP plays. And you've got Pure on a tanky enabler, and you've got Watch to run interference, and then you've got kind of to do whatever he wants. But it's good to see Najin playing to their strengths more, and I think that's really the reason why they were able to come out on top in this series, is because they played to their strengths more. And like OQ's Vayne was just fucking incredible as well. Like
God, OQ's Vayne.
It's
just
good.
consistently, incredible player, and it's good to see him doing less OQ-like things.
Yeah,
And
he was really controlled that series.
he was really measured. He positioned himself incredibly well in every team fight. Was always dealing the max amount of damage. Like when Oki was coming up, I was excited because I thought he would be like imp with his laning and then deft with his team fighting, and he's kind of becoming like that now. He's still like a bit light, but he's playing really, really well now, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, the gameplay guy's just a fucking god, but I don't know. This is, what's kind of bugged me is ambition. Like,
Ambition.
why isn't he playing Nunu anymore? Like, I think he's 10-1 or 11-1 on Nunu.
Yeah, he's
Like-
pretty big on it.
Like that was his best champion, and he's dropped it. I think he hasn't played it in. Yeah. He hasn't played it in like the past, I don't know, 10 games or so.
The
The reason-
2015 splits, he is 8-0.
Yeah, he hasn't even lost to it.
The reason that the ambition Nunu works so well is because it allows them to shore up for Space's weaknesses, and allows ambition, because he's quite a clever guy. He's like the dumbest clever player ever. That's the dumb moves he makes, but how calculated he is with his aggression and stuff like that. So it allows both of them to hide their weaknesses quite well, both Space and Ambition, who are clearly the weak links on the team, and it gives Coco so much vision that he can just fucking go off in a game, and because Coco's a really good player, and it just allows him to kind of properly go off. And Coco had a really good series as well. In that series, he definitely outperformed Goong in 2 out of 3 games, quite heavily. It's kind of a shame to see on CJ Hell,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the other issue for CJ as well is like his Shy's champion pool and his effectiveness on certain champions is just not up to scratch really with kind of your premier top Korean top laners right now.
Yeah.
He can't play Hecarim, and he can't play Gnar. And if you can't play either of those champions, you're not your top laner.
Exactly that. He is good mechanically, and he's like, yes, his Shyvana is good. Mundo was good, probably still is. But if he's not, you have to play meta champions, like mostly. Teams, you cannot get away with just playing the other stuff all the time. Like it hardly works. There's a reason why there is a main meta, and definitely in top lane. Gnar and Hecarim are just too stupid right now to not be able to play. They're so fucking strong. And their TP effectiveness impact is so much higher than stuff that Chai tries to get away with. Chai's a good player, but he's way stubborn with his picks. And that's why I will never consider him anymore a very elite top player, just because of the fact that he has those issues.
Yeah, he's a
Mundo.
mid-tier top winner.
Unless Mundo comes back as like staple.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna happen. I don't think so.
So there's an interesting stat I have. Why this spring season, Mad Life has played one game of Alistair. The summer split, he has played one game of Alistair.
Yeah.
Why do you think they don't prioritize? Like, I mean, that entire series, every single game, Pure had Alistair. It seems like they don't prioritize it at all.
Yeah. That kind of bugs me just because his Alistar is normally, and lately he's been playing either Nautilus, Thresh, and Alistar, like basically the past 20 some odd games.
Like he's only played one game of Alistair. It seems like he only plays Alistair. Come on, though, he really needs to play Alistair. He's like, really needs to play. All right, I'll fucking play it this one time. All right, now I have to play it for another 15 games. Like maybe he just hates the champion. I don't know. Like.
He mainly plays Janna, Thresh, and Nautilus. I don't know. I think really their draft phase is biting them in the ass, CJ. Because letting Pure have Alistar 3 times, that should not happen. Alistar is such a high priority pick right now. First pick worthy in a lot of the cases. I'm surprised they just so freely got it.
Yeah, it was first pick by Najin on red side in game 1. Then it was first picked on blue side by Najin on game 2, and then it was first picked on Najin on red side in game 3.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's because Pure is a really, really good Alistair.
That's
like,
true.
Really fucking. He'll go off on that champion, and he's a really good Thresh as well. So maybe CJ just don't see the point in taking it away because they would rather. And he's pretty good Nautilus as well, so maybe Mad Life just thinks he can outplay the Alistair or something like that. I don't know. Players are weird like that.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think people have this image that Korean players like are really sort of calculated and will do whatever it takes for the team. That's not the case. They definitely have egos and they will definitely try and start on people. I think coach definitely doesn't have as much power as I think people think they have. Like, I definitely think that some Korean pros are like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to fucking play Alistair, mate. Let's fuck your shit.
No.
I don't need to play Alistair. I've already proved I'm a great Alistair. What do I need to play Alistair for?
I think that's downfall, CJ.
Well, I mean, is there anything else left to say about this? I mean, it was definitely one of the best series of the split so far.
Really exciting to watch. Really exciting to watch.
It really highlighted Space's weaknesses, though, as a player.
Oh, yeah.
Improved over how he was in his debut split and his following splits, but it really highlighted his shortcomings as an AD carry and the issue that he faces on a sort of he's not an AD carry, he's a marksman if you want, he'll do decent amount of damage and stuff like that, but he's not gonna fucking hard carry a game. And I think that CJ, in a sense, when Shy doesn't carry, it's just Coco trying to 1v9. Sometimes he manages
the problem.
He's a fucking great player, but Coco's not consistent enough to regularly 1v9. He's not Faker. So if there was a tagline for Coco's career, it would be good but not quite Faker. And
that's a good one. That's what I said when my top laners are when they got nerfed with the skirmisher and the Grom buff. I knew that CJ was gonna have a problem because Shy has to be their secondary threat because Space will never be that. Space will never be their secondary carry. He just doesn't have it in him. And yeah, that's a problem right now because Shy's pool is again getting weakened, limited, and it's up to Coco and he can't do it alone. So yeah.
If I was the weirdest thing about this current CJ Enter's lineup is they really remind me of SK Telecom T1K in season 3, when they weren't that great, but it's like they flipped it on their head. So their AD carry is consistent but not good enough to carry a game like Impact was, and their top laner is inconsistent but can carry a game, and their mid laner just tries to go off all the time and sometimes puts himself in a disadvantaged position, not quite to the level Faker did, but to try and kind of take the burden on and he'll almost go for disfavourable matchups and stuff like that. Because I think he's so I need to kind of do well for my team, and it's and then the jungler just gets caught all the time, just fucking died. So like it's like a weird like flipped on their head version of SKT really, and like of SKTK. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to see, but then I hate CJ, so it's not that sad to me really.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad CJ's falling off, just because, like, I look at the roster, I'm just like, dear God, how is this team?
I know, right?
Contending for top 2 in Korea? Like, it's
Not
fucking.
anymore.
Nope.
It's 2014 summer CJ Frost without their best player, with Ambition as their jungler. How is that even competing at top 2? That just blows my fucking mind, and it's a joke.
It's a lot weaker. We've all got to live with this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hopefully CJ. Yeah. But CJ hasn't fucking made a single roster move the whole year, so I really doubt. They haven't even subbed in anybody yet. So,
they have an entire fucking... Okay, no, we're going to talk about the sub
talk about that later.
Yeah, well, that's
Jesus
a different topic.
Christ.
So let's just quickly move on to the last 2 games. Because Samsung IM and Ku... I mean, how much is there to talk about Samsung IM besides that even Kuve was able to win a game on top ribbon? I mean, I think that's enough for the entire series right there.
I'm not talking about the series.
Okay, so moving on, then we have Ku versus Anarchy, where once again we saw quite a bit of change up from Ku when it comes to Kuro carrying some more, Prey pretty much not coming back into full form, but showing signs of life again. Smeb destroying on Rise. Rise. Just please, everyone ban Rise. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then we had Gorilla on Annie just completely destroy Sangyun. Yeah. And it was just like, well, you got nothing to play, buddy. And then his fucking Callista build. I don't know. That Callista build of I'm going to build attack speed first and then go for damage later is just never again.
I see fucking bronze Callistas do that. So the Ku Tigers are a really fascinating team because there is quite a lot of talent on that team. When they want to kind of I think Gorilla's the best support player in the world. I think Matt is a bit shit now.
Yeah.
So I think Gorilla, especially at the end of season 4, he was definitely a top 3 support player in the world. And I would Gorilla on my fantasy team every single time. I think the plays that he makes and stuff like that, incredible. And then you've got Smeb, who if you give him a champion like Raj, will just fucking carry. Smeb is a carry top laner through and through. His weakness is the fact that he's not great on tanks, but it doesn't matter when he's so good on his carry champions. And then you've got Kuro as a stable mid laner, Wisdom, okay. And then you've got Prey, who he's just inconsistent. So there's such an interesting team, and they really could be really, really good. But I don't know, for some reason they just can't seem to they are making it work now, and it's good to see. But they just still have issues for me, they either their early game is shit or their mid game is shit, and they need to shore it up really. And I definitely think the team has found a new sense of motivation. We hear about all these players reaching top ranks of solo queue and stuff like that, and it's good to see. Yeah. But it's still, I don't know, I really want Ku Tigers to go to Worlds and redeem themselves from that terrible IEM Worlds performance. But right now, I don't think there's no indication to me that they won't just, if they make it to Worlds, just do the same thing they did at IEM Worlds. So
yeah. They still have a lot of questions. I mean, they have to figure out the jungle issue. They have to get a set jungler. You can swap out a carry. You can swap out depending on play styles, Pilot and Captain Jack. They have different play styles. They fit different strengths. They have different weaknesses. I don't think you can have 2 sub junglers. The jungle role is just so crucial for team dynamic, and you can't Wisdom and Kojin overall, I think they're just so mediocre.
Yeah, I don't think either one is the actual answer, but I preferred Wisdom in this series. Again, I mean, the early ganks and aggression that he was able to get Ku is something that they were sorely lacking in the previous playoffs and near the end of the split. Is that they were really able to? His ganks and early presence was able to get them into the mid game and late game where Ku was able to excel. What?
No, those botline ganks are really good.
It sets his ability to do that, and if Wisdom is that's all Wisdom does. If Wisdom can do that and then just fall apart the rest of the game, that should be enough to get them to win more games. Is just there's like we've said time in time out. There's not a lot of jungle talent in Korea right now, and if he can just set up early ganks and then just let his laners more or less carry him from the rest of that is more than enough. And I think that is one of the issues that some of the other junglers are not doing as well. That's why I like Score over Ambition. Is oftentimes Score will be a person who will gank early and then really not do much else after that. But Ambition's like, no, I gotta farm, guys. I'm a mid laner. I gotta farm and get my CS up and get the items. It's like, no. You just go in there and you get kills. Do not take kills. Just give them to your team. It's just nice to see Wisdom come in and do that for Ku and see the difference it can have. I mean, these games were so one-sided. I was surprised. I thought Anarchy was going to lose 2-1, but 2-0 was pretty bad for Anarchy, I think.
There you go. Utterly destroyed.
But if Ku didn't win 2-0, I'd be even more worried about them. Really, the top the top Jin Air, CJ, Najin, Ku Tigers, and is so close that if Ku didn't manage to 2-0 Anarchy, I'd be worried for them because they have objectively a lot more. Oh, and I've got KT in that as well. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? They have more talent than a lot of these other teams do, with the sort of amount of star player potential they've got. But it just always something lacking, and I think part of that is to do with because Ku might be the most Western OGN team right now. When you think about how the structure of their team works, this was a team that they themselves put together, and then they've got a big financial backing sponsor in Ku, and then they've got their mate, fucking Nofe, as their coach. They've only got one coach for starters. They, for me, are they're almost like a kind of deconstruction of an LCK team in the sense that the coaches didn't pick the players, they picked the players.
It's a bit.
They decide on a lot of things in that team, and I think it's really a player-focused team rather than a sort of a brand or something like that for me.
Korean organ.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still kind of surprised that Anarchy didn't win again. The only games Anarchy has been 2-0'd again was against Ku and Jin Air. They've taken games off of CJ. They've taken a game off CJ, off SKT, off they beat Najin, and that was the first game of the split. But
I think part of that is just Anarchy kind of being slowly more and more figured out, and teams taking them more seriously.
Yeah, and they got destroyed in
lanes. If Mickey gets a champion, he can still just go nuts regardless of what his team does. It was just interesting to see them 2-0 in the way they did.
Yeah, it was really dominant. It was really dominant.
2 30-minute, barely, a little over, a little under games, and it was just wow, no chance. There was no chance in my mind when I watched these games that Anarchy had any chance after 10 minutes in the game to do anything.
Piñera, can you try to reset your webcam again? Still not showing up.
Oh, no, he's in a good pose though.
Is that better?
No.
I can turn it off. I like Gentleman Lulu. I think that should be.
No, leave this pose on. You look really magnificent. Leave it on. You look like you're about to address the people or something. Leave it on.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I think that wraps up the games then, this week's games. And we can move on to the next topic, and that's the top 16. Well, okay, no, fuck SKT. They're just destroying everyone. So the top 2 through 6 teams. Because, what's there to say about SKT besides they look like they can just take on any team and without even feigning any kind of preparation, dismantle them. So
yeah, SKT with Faker is the best team in the world.
I still don't think SKT will win this OGN split, but I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah, but
Who the fuck is gonna beat them, dude?
someone will. Someone will. Trust me. They'll go to Worlds, but I don't think they'll win.
Is EDG gonna just full on come in and like they're gonna just like Najin just gonna hire all EDG players come in?
No. I just think it'll be like that Samsung Blue KT Arrows upset. Like a team, they won't. I don't think they'll win OG. Yeah.
But that was different. There was a small change. Just it shouldn't just have happened. But...
As it is now, it looks like SKT is gonna have to win one best of 5.
I mean, even before that, they still. I mean, there's no way. Yeah, it's also way easier now with the gauntlet for SKT.
Remember that in the last OGN playoffs, CJ Enters took them to 5 games and really nearly beat them, and then Fnatic took them to a full 5 games at MSI. I don't think they're as good as people make they are. I think
SKT played
SKT
played Tom in the first 2 games of playoffs. Like,
yeah, but then
they brought Bengi in and he shit all over Ambition.
That's true.
That 5th game of Fnatic though too is just like, wow, why are like this is what I expected for 3 straight games. Is them walking in, completely destroying them tactically, and walking out going, that was easy. And then it was like, we're going to fuck around for 4 games.
SKT has issues, but...
yeah.
But
all the other
teams,
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. They can... The national teams could hurt them, but there's like no way domestically they're gonna...
The issue with SKT is like, can they play the right players? I mean, I guess Najin fits in that boat too, but other teams are like, there are players that we would like to see replaced because you can have Arrow. I mean, Jin Air Green Wing Falcons have some issues with players. Jin Air and CJ.
Someone could Lord bet me that SKT won't win, or will win OG, and
We can't take that. We can't take that. You have to come up with a different name. I'm pretty sure someone else has already claimed the Lord betting.
No, but that's the ultimate esports bet now, isn't it? Because obviously it's just your pride on the line. So I'll Lord bet anyone.
Pride? Oh, yeah, I've got a lot of esports pride with my whole, like, 20 followers.
I'll take that bet, Sam.
Okay, there we go. So I'll Lord bet you that any other team will win LCK over SKT.
There's no way. I don't believe it.
No, I don't. I look forward to... Tell you what, let's not make it a Lord bet. Let's make it a King bet. If I win, I am king.
Okay.
If you win, you are king.
Or can I call you queen? So
if you want to call me queen, I say we'll make it a queen bet for both of us then. You're the one winning. Make it a queen bet.
It's alright. King is good.
No, okay.
Think about SKT.
Doesn't want the queen bet.
Yeah, but you have to call me.
The thing about SKT is like they have their bot lane, I think, is just so iffy. Like they're extremely hit and miss. Initially, they were brought on as consistent.
Well, you look at the other bot lanes on like Jin Air, Najin, and Ku Tigers. All of them have a better bot lane,
right?
And then you look at Marin. Like I'm still not. I'd take Duke or Smeb over him any day of the week.
Yeah,
not Trace. Not Trace. I've been cheated on by Trace too many times.
Not by Trace. No, mine is still Turf.
But and then what? Bengi or someone was I meant to believe Bengi's the Lord of the Jungle again. No, fuck that shit. Like Bengi's just watched with a better team. Like he's so. I think the destruction of SKT is close. I can smell it.
SKT, they're not untouchable, but I think their issues are less major than other teams' issues. Every team in the world has issues. That's the thing.
I think Faker. I'm sorry. I think SKT's issues can be summed up with just Faker can hard carry like 2 out of 5 games in a series. So they just need them to. They just need Bang, Wolf, and Marin to show up for a game.
So like SKT are the most complete team in Korea, and they have the best player in the world, which is why they look so good right now. But I don't think that this will carry on for long. I don't think it's the start of SKT.
I think it'll be next spring. Next spring.
I think Worlds could be a bummer, but hopefully not.
Oh no, a Korean team will win Worlds, 100%, 110%. As long as there's no swapping out faker shit, Korean team will win Worlds. But I don't think it'll. SKT could even then go on to win Worlds. I'm not saying they won't go on and win Worlds. I just don't think they'll win this series of LCK. I think they're too cocky for their own good.
Do we get to count some Chinese teams as Korean?
Yeah, half the LPL teams are.
No, I mean like an LCK.
I know what you mean.
Win Worlds, but
they don't count.
LCK.
It could be SKT, but I think
it's
SKT
Champions
to
team.
win Worlds than they are to win Champions.
Champions team.
Not LCK. Not Lick.
Okay, so who do you guys think out of the Jin Air, KT, Najin, Ku, and CJ is going to not make playoffs?
Wait, so it's 2 teams?
Top 5 are going into playoffs.
Top 5 are going, so
That's
one of
one.
those teams is one is dropping out. I mean, they're within 6 points of each other, so that easily can be made up over the next season.
KT.
CJ or KT are just going to be left out.
Yeah. I'm going KT. Coco is going to be good enough, and they still have point advantage right now.
We're going to learn a lot about KT this next week, though. That's the thing, is they play Najin and SKT next week, so we're going to learn a lot about that.
They always turn up for that. They always turn up for the SKT series. Though they always play.
Yeah, they do. Jin Air plays Najin and SKT next week, so again, we're going to learn a lot about Jin Air.
Yep.
Najin plays both those teams, so I mean, right now it's looking like CJ is going to be the odd team out. They are fading and fading fast.
Yeah, but CJ have easy matches next week. Though. They play IM and Samsung.
Yeah.
This is their Coup Tigers week. Like, they got the fucking easiest run ever.
That's true.
Yeah, so they could easily get +4.
No, they can't get. Well, yeah, but you have to look at
+4.
series difference. Not right now.
Yeah,
they're only 1 ahead actually in win losses. Pure win losses. They're all pretty much one game apart from one series apart from each other. So it's, and then you still have the whole other part of the season.
The whole other round.
So it's really hard to say right now. Like even like the second team could drop. SKT could drop, but I mean they're probably going 2-0 next week, and then they're pretty solid.
Okay, I'll just go over this week's games, then we can go into the guest topic.
Oh, sure.
Because we already kind of went over more of them. So I mean, we have IM-CJ. That's going to be better be one-sided for CJ, or else if they lose to IM, even if they lose one game to IM, that's gonna.
We're all done. We're all done with CJ. That's it. I'm not never going to
stick the fork in.
Get CJ.
Then we could say
have KT SKT, which has always been some pretty interesting telecom war games.
So
I mean, that should be really interesting. I think it's probably going to go. I hope it goes 3 again, because I mean that just makes it more exciting. But probably SKT is going to win.
I hope no easy win. Then it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
no easy.
KT will take a game in that series. 100%. 100% they'll take a game. Like they always take a game off SKT. They might not take.
I hope Faker shits on Nagne.
But they look really bad lately. So.
But
will
do you think
Edge? Or will Edge have the edge?
Oh yeah, Edge gets played.
Edge is going to be left home.
Well,
do you think SKT is going to start Easy Hoon or Faker?
I hope not. I hope they take these 2 series seriously and just. I mean, they can pick weird stuff, but at least play Faker and play a comp you actually prepared well as well. Even their weird stuff, it's prepared.
I'm done with Easy Hoon.
I've been done with Easy Hoon since he was an SPS.
I'm fine with Easy Hoon, just not over Faker.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player, but I mean, his play style is
he's better than half the mids in it.
Yeah, that's.
We have the game that shall not be named of Sbenu, Anarchy.
Not making that.
Ugh. And then we go back into more fun games of Jin Air versus Najin, which should be another. It's going to be a huge game for the table.
Yeah.
I mean, this week we could see the entire top 5 get jumbled up again, like we did last week.
Better. Games.
CJ versus Samsung. So I mean, this is the CJ better win both games, like you guys said before.
Aren't we gonna do predictions for Jin Air, Najin?
Yeah, sure. Jin Air, Najin. Let's go Jin Air. Come on, don't fucking fail me again like you always do. But no, I don't know. I think
Najin is still they're too hot right now.
Yeah.
And Goong is
Probably
gonna get
2-1.
one good champion, and it's gonna be over again.
Goong will get Kassadin, and then he'll get LeBlanc, and then it will be all, and then everything will be right with the world.
Oh,
He'll get a
Wait,
one.
no, LeBlanc's been nerfed now, isn't it? Okay. No, he'll get.
She's still actually okay. It's not awesome, but she's still okay. Even
Okay. Okay, so
he
I
was
guess we've got like if Goong can get Zed, Kassadin, or LeBlanc. Are there any other champions there?
No.
Victor. Yeah, I'll get Victor as well.
But he could have picked it away from Coco, and he didn't. So I don't even think they prioritized it. They literally just left Victor open and then picked Cassiopeia into it. Which
It's because it's all part of Goong's master plan. He's actually a really good Victor. He just doesn't want to reveal it for the next series.
Wait, Goong and plan? Same sentence.
Yeah.
Goong used to be a StarCraft football player. He's got plans. He just doesn't know what they are right now.
Okay.
He's just like, why are my Zerglings not moving? Okay, so actually, I think Jin Air has a chance of winning this because if there's one way to keep Goong in check, that would be with an actual jungler in a mid lane who can play defensively and not let Goong go off. So I think there is a huge chance that Chaser and GBM could really make sure they could give Goong one of his champions and keep him in check and just destroy the rest of the map.
Yeah, but at the same time, could just be OQ just fucking starts ripping the whole that's whole like
it
could be OQ and or Duke
or Duke on Trace. That's happened before.
Yeah, like it's really a battle between like Chaser and GBM and OQ and Duke as to who can carry more in this series. If Watch can't, this is Watch's big series as well. If he can not get exposed by Chaser, no one can really say he doesn't get to be the jungler of Najin anymore. But if he gets exposed, and then Najin can totally let minefield us all and just play Peanut and just this is it. Now I'm worried that Peanut doesn't even play more because there was a promotional photo of Najin and it was only fucking Tank was in it. So I'm worried that Peanut doesn't even play for Najin anymore. But who knows?
He was raging too much. So
he was too BM. I don't know.
Okay, so then we have CJ Samsung. Obviously CJ. I mean, they better win.
Yeah.
Who I am. Who better fucking win.
Then the last
we have
that's such a good
great
day,
fucking last day. Najin KT followed up by SKT Jin Air. I mean, you have four of the top 6 teams playing each other.
And the best part is that SKT and Jin Air are probably the top 2 teams in champions right now. Really, when you really think about it and you look at like their results and their consistency and their skill and their roster, Jin Air and SKT are really the top 2 teams. So if Jin Air come off a loss, like they might just crumble. But you know what? If this is a week for Jin Air to properly step up and say, you know what, maybe we are the best team in champions right now, or maybe we are the definite top 2. This is all the top 6 teams all trying to say, this is where we are in the league, and you will know. We'll get a much better idea of where we rank everybody after this week. But you know what? Like, I'm taking Najin against KT, and then I'm going to take SKT against Jin Air because SKT's.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Najin, you think Najin's going to beat KT? Or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
No. Let's see if you have Najin beating Jin Air and then SKT beating Jin Air, then Jin Air is not the top 2 anymore. They'd fall to like 4th.
But Jin Air could be. They could be, but I don't think they are.
He wants Najin to be. So
yeah. I don't
to be vindicated by Watch.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't really understand how to bet against Najin. Like, I just something in my mind just is like, don't do it. Like, so you know what.
If Najin had a better mid laner, I would agree and be like, there's no why any person betting against Najin that's not playing against SKT is a fool. Because with a better mid laner, they just Duke and OQ are monsters, and then you just have Watch play Nunu.
I'd also like to remind everyone that I was the only person in the whole world who predicted Najin would win that gauntlet.
Fuck that.
We know that.
Yeah.
Fuck Christ.
3 days of quality games.
I promise that I was going to shit all over them. I was the only person. It was so.
Anyone else?
No, I can't.
Anyone else? Anyone else on the Saturday games?
Yeah, I'm also I think Najin because KT looks like really crap right now. Najin's gonna stomp over that, and SKT. Well, actually, I think SKT versus Jin Air is gonna be like super close, depending on how well Chaser does.
I think isn't this the first time that SKT have played a good team in like fucking ages? When you look at it, like they played week 4, they played Anarchy and CJ. Week 5 they played IM, and then week 6, like, so this is the first actual test of SKT in a fucking long time.
Yeah.
Last time they played a good team was week 3, which was the Coup Tigers, and even then the Coup Tigers didn't look that good.
They were shit right then. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like, if there was a match where we actually get to see how good SKT are, this is it. Like, this is their, this is the hardest week they've had in Champions so far, I reckon.
Yeah, the last time they had an actual competition was against Najin, but even at that point, that was the Najin that lost 2-1 to Anarchy and barely beat a slumping Coup.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
Yeah, so like this is the first real test of SKT since the start of Champions, because this is the first time they played 2 top 6 teams in the same week. Think about that.
Yep.
It's hard to predict.
What a fun day though.
Match. Just because Jin Air has Kuzan GBM. You don't know who's going to play. Probably GBM, but Kuzan's still there. Then you have Pilot and Gab Jack. Who the fuck's going to play there? And then you have Sweet and Shay. And then Trace is sitting in top lane, and he may as well be 2 different players because you don't know which one's going to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, and then SKT
again. That's the real question.
And SKT with Tom and Easy, and it's like you don't know who's going to play ever, so it's impossible to predict it.
I don't think we'll see any big changes to any rosters until after until the second half. I think that in this week, teams will just go with what they went in the last week. Generally, you might see Easy Hoon, but that's about it. I don't think you'll see Tom, Pilot, Sweet, Peanut, Tank. You definitely
We've never seen them.
Oh god, I hope Najin changes stuff over the site, like for the round 2.
We've heard it's working.
I don't think you'll see. I think you'll just see what worked in week 5 for teams. I mean, the only team that had stuff that didn't work in week 5 was CJ Enters, and they can't switch anyone out because they fucking got rid of them all, didn't they? So they don't have a substitute jungler. They have Max on support, so they ain't gonna swap out Mad Life. Like,
no, they have an entire second team. They have like Trick. Trick is their sub jungler, I believe. He's official, but yeah, Trick. What the fuck, Trick? No, it's I don't know.
They play as literally Udyr. I still remember when Trick Z played for CLG, and like all the beef got spammed around, man. That was funny as fuck.
I mean, that's a pretty good segue to the topic you wanted to bring up, Aaron. If you want to introduce that, pretty much
yeah. These sub rosters are like, look at every single roster. Here we go. Like, Najin has Tank and Peanut. Both of them, based on what we saw in spring, you would assume they're probably, champions caliber players, right? Individually, they're pretty good. Jin Air has Kuzan, who completely shit on whoever he played. I think it was I Am and Sbenu. Yeah, it was those. He came in and shit on him. He went 4-0 whenever he came in, and then Jin Air is holding Pilot and Captain Jack. One of them. Both of them are Champions caliber players. And Sweet and Shay, both of them are Champions caliber players. SKT, holding on to Easy Hoon. And Tom, it's just... And then you look at the bottom tier teams, and there are holes all throughout the teams. Every single team has one good player except for Sbenu.
They have 9 bad players.
According to Esportspedia, KT have a sub 80 carry. Matt.
Yeah, it's what's his name? I'm not looking at it right now, but
the difference being that if you go to the actual Sbenu Champion Summers, if they don't have them on the seeded teams, if they don't show up there, it means they haven't actually ever played a game. So we don't know if they're like on an official roster or anything like that. So this may be part of like if they have a like the second team in the challenger scene, like the second kind of challenger scene thing there is. They might be playing on that, and I think there might be like some sort of if you're on the this challenger 2 team, you can't play on the actual team or something like that.
With this League 2 tournament, apparently CJ's not playing in it, even though they still have their like unofficial like full 5-man roster. They're not playing in it. Jin Air's not playing in it, I believe. I mean, I'm going off of information Dom gave me, but like I think he said IM is playing in it. Samsung is playing in it. KT, I think, is playing in it. And then Sbenu, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. It's like a bunch of like fairly bottom tier teams that are playing in it. CJ's not playing in it. SKT's not playing in it.
Who can't?
Jin Air's, yeah. Yeah, good for them, I guess. But like, this just, God, that sucks. And then the Korean Challenger scene is garbage too, because if you're a good enough player in Korean Challenger, you're just going to get picked up by one of the orgs. And so, or you can go to LSPL.
There's that Gank Zero guy. He's not been picked up by a team yet. He's actually really good. I really like him. So I was watching the buds on the other day. I think he's really good. Yeah. So I'm definitely sold on Dom's hype train about Gank Zero.
It's a matter of time. He'll get picked up by someone.
But that's one player though. An entire like challenger scene.
But how would you improve the Korean challenger scene?
Yeah, that's a good fucking question. Because, like, I mean, there are perks to the subsystem. That's the thing. There are perks to the subsystem because through these best of 3s and best of 5 series, you know, swapping in and out players, I think it improves strategy. But I think it hurts the overall scene in the sense that there isn't really a challenger scene. Like, because if you're good enough in solo queue in Korean Challenger, you're just going to get immediately picked up by a team, put into some farm system, and just going to work your way up there. Or you're just going to get bought out to LSPL and play on some fucking D tier team with Chow X, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, Korean Challenger is awful. I don't know.
I guess a way they should do is just limit subs, and then the orgs can still pick up other players, but then have to field them in a extra team.
Kesper won't go for any move that limits subs.
Yeah, that's a problem, of course.
Limits.
Or if you have a sub, they have to play like a minimum amount of games to still be eligible as your sub. Something like that. Like,
you got to remember that training partners isn't a culture of Korean esports. When you go back to like the original days of the glory days of Brood War, you know, like there were players on your original Brood War teams who weren't listed as players and who like were just there as cheap labor. You know what I mean? Like so, like Marine King, like when he was on a Brood War team, like he was someone's bitch so much to the point where like half his day was like cleaning up after other players. Like, you know, he'd be told to go make the players' beds, he'd have to go clean the toilets, like. All he'd get is basic bread and board, and you have to fucking work like a dog to try and like, get anything. Like, that's just part of the culture. We don't even know half the players on these teams because there will be players like Huni, who now maybe a top 3 top lane in the world and the best player in Europe, who in his entire time in Korea didn't even get a mention because he's just someone's bitch. You know what I mean? That's just a part of the culture. You can't change that.
Yeah.
You know it's systemic in Korean culture and in Korean esports is to have people who just there for practicing matchups. You know, like it's possible Jin Air even have like a third team. You know, a team of players we don't even know the names of that they don't get to play. Samsung had 4 active teams up until they won Worlds. Like, you know, there was Samsung Red that was meant to go to Europe, and then there was that Huni was on, and then there was meant to be another one as well. Like. You know, it's just systemic, and I don't think you can just get rid of it. I think I think if they actually properly went on the sub league, made it mandatory, I think that would actually probably improve Korean esports. And then you could maybe see like if a sub league team manages to get into like an opportunity for a sub-league team to get into champions and then see if they can get a good enough sponsor to compete on their own. You know, the sponsors must be there. You know, there are other big Korean companies, and Chinese money keeps wandering over, like with the Coup Tigers. I think that's how you have to do it. You'd have to really like embrace the system, I think, in order to properly fix Korean Challenger.
No, they have to want it to. That's
Do you think it'd also be better to have like a mini old OGN Champions tournament format for it, where instead of having just the challenger teams locked in, you could have like Samsung's extra team or like the CJ's team play inside of that, and then if they can make it back in. See, I don't give a shit if there's 2 CJ teams within the 10 teams playing in OGN, as long as they're both quality of playing there.
I think Riot gives a shit though. I think that's.
I understand, but I mean, like, if it increases the talent.
I don't think Riot can give a shit though, because Chinese teams still have sister teams. They just call them a slightly different name. So it's ABG or whatever. They still there's 2 energy pacemaker teams. One's called Energy Pacemaker Carries, the other one's called Energy Pacemaker something else. Like, I think the other way you could go about it as well is you've got LSPL, which is this huge fucking league full of teams. Why don't we make it, Ace or Lace, and Kesper are meant to have a partnership together where they're meant to discuss this idea of both of them improving esports together, so that any transfers between the 2 are discussed with them first before a player can transfer from Kesper to Lace. Why is it, could we not look at this option in Season 6 of LSPL being like a mixed league between Chinese and Korean teams? Would that not improve the quality of it? I mean, if you think about it, that's theoretically possible. There's enough money to go around and stuff like that. And then you'd have CJN's B-tier team competing against ADG, and it would make this Korean exodus not feel so bad on us, I think.
I have another question then too. With that, do you think the Korean, I guess, the sponsors like Jin Air, CJ, do you think they're not just kind of flaunting the issue of not 2 teams anymore, like China clearly is, with their not giving a fuck pretty much of having King be purchased and just replace it with an entire like, it's pretty obvious to know the teams that are close together, that like there was Young Glory, or we have M Master 3 and we have Team Wii. Oh, what if we switch, just turn the letters just slightly, and we can get it. It's really obvious that those are truly the same ones, and I don't think it's as flaunting as much, but when it first happened, they're like, oh, we can't have 2 teams anymore, and they're like, well, we're just gonna move letters around then and still be this. We're gonna be different teams, guys.
I never thought about that.
Do you think Korea should just pretty much do the same thing, and they just be like, instead of Jin Air Green Wings, they'll be like, we'll be Air Green Jin Wings, and just fucking just change the names around.
So the problem with that is where the money comes from in the respective esports scenes. So in Korea, your money comes from a big corporate sponsor backing your team, and the value to Jin Air Green Wings or having a League Legends team is that the Jin Air name gets everywhere, or say the CJ Entus, SK Telecom, whatnot.
I'm sure these companies own a subsidiary they could just fucking print a label out and put on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways and means going about it, and I definitely think what you say has merit. And I'd like to see more of these sub teams playing again with the other challenger teams, because I think it would only raise, if you could get some people watching Korean Challenger, that might go some way to fucking help it, because I think the only person who watches it is fucking Dom.
Dom?
Oh
my god.
Like if there was a Twitch stream, there'd be 2 viewers. The guy who's broadcasting it, and Dom. Like that would be it. Like the casters watching it. Like,
did you see that? I saw a Reddit thread that Dom linked to, and he's like, holy shit, who is this person? And it was just him and the other guy talking about Korean Challenger scene. It's just it's so unreal. The almost zero interest in it, and there's like almost no promotional stuff I've seen from anyone, be it the people that deal with champions or any other person I know that does Korean League of Legends outside of Kefka. I don't know any single other person I've seen on Twitter really talk about the game.
The problem is what logic is there to talk about Korean Challenger when you have trash tier teams like I Am and Anarchy that are so thoroughly dull to watch? Like, why would I bother to look up teams that are worse than them? Like, already got NALCS for that. Like, I don't need to fucking what?
I mean, you used to be able to have 16 teams playing in Korea, and I mean, you'd have kind of one maybe not great team in each group, but they'd still
so
have
of them were competitive. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be 4 full amateur teams inside of it, but you have the amateur teams would still maybe do something funny and make a team have a run for its money. If they took off one game, that would be huge. But it seems like I understand that there's the huge China exodus and all that, but it still surprised me at this point they haven't had any kind of recovery, even in the challenger scene. Is that it's got to be something like these. Samsung has 4 teams still, and they just don't fucking play these people ever, and just you're never gonna see them until they can crawl out to North America or Europe and like show up as Huni, and everyone's gonna be like, holy crap, this guy's amazing. Like, how many other are still in there going, please help?
Yeah.
Like sending out a bottle over the internet.
Yeah, no, like I mean, the reason that Korean Challengers used to be quite interesting with the NLB days was the fact that because from the start to the finish, like OGN teams fell down into it, and you would see, so it would decide the kind of the 5th to 8th place, and it was also a bit more raw as well because it was online. Like you'd really kind of see like a more stripped down version, and it was more about like individual outplays and stuff like that, and it was genuinely quite fun and interesting to watch. But it never felt like there was anything important riding on it, but it was just like a way. Oh, I want to watch more of Reaper play jungle. Okay, I'll go watch NLB and watch him, do some good games there. Like,
you don't want to watch Reaper play jungle?
I don't. After a certain time, I don't want to watch Reaper play League.
It was good because you would see teams fall down into it, and then you'd get the big series as well. Like, so you get CJ Antifrost versus the KT Bullets, or whatever. So it was good in that sense. But now, like, because all the brands are just focused on OGN. I don't know. I don't know if it's as savable as people. I don't think it is an easy fix to it. Because I think if there was an easy fix, I think Kesper would have done it. Because if there's one thing we can agree on about Kesper, is they're a control freak, and yes, they definitely are definitely in bed with Riot and all this kind of thing. But they do genuinely care about Korean esports and do want to see it only do well. And I think if they would have done it by now, but I don't think they know how, because I don't think it's that easy of a solution.
I don't know. Just there's so many things where something has got to be being tried. It just seems crazy that it's been this long. It's seemingly been no change.
Yeah,
seeming is the key word.
No, like the change in Korean esports, the exodus, as I call it. I coined that term. I'm just going to point that out there. Is that because all the top talent left, the lower tier talent got pulled up, and then just left the bottom teams with fuck all. Like they're all scrummaging around the dirt for like a fucking bit of bread.
With catch.
Yeah. Anything they can get their hands on, and it is sad, but I don't see any way of kind of fixing it that easily. And I still believe that if a player wants to go pro in Korean League of Legends, it's still probably the easiest path to pro of the 5 main regions. It's the most clear. If you can get top 10 on Challenger solo queue, bam, there's a tryout right there. Don't think you get that in any other kind of region.
Well, in Challenger scene, but
yeah,
not in the main. Yeah, I guess now just everybody, like if you're just good and you become a sub for another team, they're not bothering. There's no need for more teams, so they're not even trying to find more talent. Just if they sometimes find somebody good, they might try him out. But
one way of doing it would be because at the moment OGN has 10 teams that compete in it, is if you made the first half of OGN say 12 teams, 8 teams. So what you effectively did is you had a halfway relegation through, and then those 4 teams fell down into Challenger, and then the top 4 teams would get re-promoted for the next OGN split. Does that make any sense?
Wait, you want...
So first split, 12. So first half of the season, 12 teams. Second half of the season, 8 teams. The bottom 4 teams get relegated back down into Challenger and then have to re-promote themselves back upwards. Now, maybe that would hurt Korean esports because brands like IM and Samsung wouldn't get as much exposure as they get right now because no one wants to see those brands relegated, even if they aren't fucking good teams. They're still a part of Korean esports history.
People love
but
IM and that stuff.
that would be one way of solving it because then maybe people would tune in to go watch IM and Samsung play in Challenger. I don't know. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, it's ideas.
Maybe I'm clutching at straws there. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think when it comes to this point, trying to think of solutions is more or less, I would say, clutching at straws. But I don't know. It just there's so much to it that you kind of just can't even think. It's just I don't know. It's just the fact that there's been no adjustment to it and no help to it. But I don't know. It's frustrating to see like trying to have the LSPL where it may not be the greatest, but it's
able to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a fun topic. So I don't know if people know, but there's not just MSI this year. There's actually going to be an All-Stars that's going to apparently take place in between the two Korean splits, as it were. So apparently, I don't know, there's meant to be like remember the season 3 All-Stars where like each.
Yeah.
That's apparently meant to still be happening. I haven't heard anything about it, but apparently it's still happening. I reckon it'll be in China or something. That's probably why we haven't heard anything about it because no one will get to go to it. But just hypothetically, if you were to just look at LCK, for example, if you were to select the 5 players you would want to go to an All-Stars right now, so that would be your 5 best of each role, who would that be? And remember, you can't have more than 3 players from the same.
I think it's 2.
We'll go for the 2. We'll go for the 2 rule.
I think it's. I know it's 3 actually. It used to be 3.
We could even mix it up. Tell you what, we'll mix it up a bit. So you can't have 2 players, and you can't have more than 2 players from the same team. So you can't have more than 2 SKT players. So you can't have more than 2 Jin Air players. Who would you select? And we'll go around the call, and we'll finish with me.
Oh, so it's me first. All right. So I would take Bengi and Faker because the synergy is kind of like you kind of have to take that. I think Faker is like a guarantee.
You take Chaser?
No, just because the synergy. Like I love Chaser, but I think it's more valuable if you keep Bengi with Faker. If you actually want to win, like just competitively speaking, like for an actual team that fits together.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would go Chaser, yeah. But Bengi and Faker, and then I would go Duke because you can't do wrong with Duke. You can never do wrong with Duke. And then you need something. A good bot lane that can also help with the shot calling, which is I'm not the best at. Who are the good shot callers? Maybe MetLife.
MetLife sucks.
Maybe
You'll get your turn still. Well, you'll get your turn.
Sorry, I just coughed. I just had to cough right there. That was all.
It's Fury and Raids. I don't think they are actually. Oh, God. I gotta think. We have left.
Do you want us to come back to you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be almost done.
Okay. You're up, Pinata.
I can only have 2 from one team.
Yep. Only 2 for one team.
Makes it very difficult because I have 2 teams I lined up. I did a troll team and I did a real team.
Okay.
The troll team, someday, top, watch jungle, easy hoon middle, space and mad life bot lane.
I thought it's just memes.
That'd be the tears of everyone. It'd be like, oh, wait, why? He's good, but we wanted someone better. For my actual team, the issue comes in with the bot lane and the top lane. That's the issue. I'd have Chaser and Faker, and then I'd either have Najin's bot lane and Smeb, or I would have lane and Duke. I kind of want to have Duke just because he dumpsters on everyone, but I also kind of want to see Gorilla, or it's so difficult with looking at the bot lanes because I kind of want to see OQ and either Pure or Kane and Prey and Gorilla. I guess I could just do Duke, Chaser, Faker, OQ, and Gorilla and say fuck any synergy that teams have created. I'm going with that. Fuck any synergy teams have created. Duke, top, Chaser, jungle, Faker, mid, OQ, AD carry, Gorilla, support.
been there.
Your turn still.
Oh, man. Well, here's the thing that realistically might have happened, could have happened, should have happened, didn't happen. Duke top, OQ ADC, Gorilla support, Kuro mid, and
You wouldn't send Faker.
He wants Najin too.
this is the Najin. This is the Najin super. And then like Lee, imagine this team.
Hojin?
Yeah. No, this is just the. This is
Not
just
even-
the
not
Najin
even
super
put
team.
him
This is
to
just no. This
I
is
wouldn't
a real.
think I take over Hojin. At
No,
that
this
point.
is a real team. Like, I wouldn't take Watch over Lee.
But he could shot call, I guess. Maybe. Does he?
No, Lee does not shot call. That's
No,
why they
no,
bring.
watch.
Oh, watch, yeah.
Watch. No,
Yeah.
watch.
All right, we'll take
No,
Watch.
not Lee. Of course not Lee.
See, imagine that Najin super team. Instead, they got fucking Goon.
Can we send Peanuts?
Peanut. Huh?
No.
No, real
Can't.
team.
No, he already has 2 people. He already had Duke and OQ from Najin.
No, real team though, like Faker, obviously. I don't think the mid-jungle synergy between Bengi and Faker is enough to justify how awful Bengi is compared to Chaser. Then Duke, OQ. Actually, 3 really aggressive lanes that all want to just completely shit on their lane, you know? Which I'm not a big fan of the whole team dynamic. A lot of teams fail with that, including Najin, which they should hypothetically fail, but they don't because Korea sucks. I don't know. It's been probably like Dang. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see that face.
Bang is fine. It's mostly
Yeah.
Bang is
wolf.
fine.
He's like a
It's more wolf than bang.
You clearly saw
Right.
his like peak
Oh, yeah.
during the summer or the spring final playoffs, but you
yeah.
can't hit that all the time.
I'm still waiting for
obviously
the Bang Pickaboo bot lane, but that never happened. And then I think support. Ugh. There's a lot of mediocre ones. I'd probably go Gorilla. He's probably the best.
I made up my mind.
Yeah.
I would go Gorilla support and Pilot or Jack. But I think I would go for maybe still Pilot. Depends. I'd maybe do
Yeah.
Jack because more veteran status. That would be funny. But like I said, I'm going for the cohesion, which might be total shit in actual reality. But
Fuck
think-
the
yeah.
This is a theoretical team. Fuck.
yeah, I'm going for
Please.
I'm going for theoretical cohesion. Huh? That's
Yeah, if you want the best team, just put, Duke OQ, Faker, Chaser, and Gorilla.
yeah, that's
Like,
a bad.
That's a fucking stacked team if I've ever seen one.
Almost do it a bit trickier. So
Who needs strategy when you can just
Right.
dump on all the shitty NAEU teams that fans create? We want Dyrus! Send Wild Turtle, he's gonna win!
okay. Fine. Chaser on jungle, Faker in mid, and then OQ at ADC and Gorilla as support. I would take Smeb over Duke.
Yeah.
100%. I'm tempted to say send Crazy and Kanye West because that's my all-time favorite bot lane. But I don't even know. I don't even know if Kane plays League of Legends anymore. Maybe just plays chess at the park these days. Fucking Thrace and some other old fuckers. But so obviously I'd like to bring back Rap's Dynamic Duo for Watch the Throne Volume 2. But in reality, I'll just take Gorilla and OQ. I mean, I have hamsters called Gorilla and OQ, to dedicate myself to that bot lane that never happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take OQ, Gorilla, Faker, Chaser, and Smeb. I'll take Smeb over Duke.
Why would
about
you take
this
Smeb over
team?
Duke?
I want to see Smeb pick Riven and just style people. That's what I want. Like I just want to always see him like pick Rumble and like fucking wreck someone in the lane. Like, you know, that's what I want in life. I love Smell. I love you, Smell. Like I can't control my feelings for you anymore. You're the most manly top laner in Korea right now, and this is my pledge of love for you.
I want to see your guys' faces at this lineup. How about Marin, Ambition, Mickey, Arrow.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Stop trolling.
Should I just stop there?
Yeah, if you said Arrow,
throw Hachani in for you know, as the coach as well. Coach Hachani.
Oh, that would have been the team from like, no. I'm not even fucking watching this garbage.
Do we think that Korea could still make the best all-star lineup?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, because you have the best all-star lineup of Koreans playing in China.
There's no top laner. There's no top laner in China better than Duke.
At the moment, you have
Snap.
Dandy, and Acorn.
Dandy's fucking top lane. Jesus Christ.
Dandy top lane, Cacao with jungle.
Sorry, but when China made Dandy and jungle like and top laner,
They don't really have what good Korean mid laners because Pawn has been a bit.
That's fucking garbage.
Horn's not playing anymore.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, so.
Baby.
So who's left? Dade is still crap.
Rookie?
Rookie. Yeah, Rookie. No.
Yeah.
Rookie is doing okay.
The Chinese team would be like Koro top, Cacao jungle, Rookie.
EDG with the two players from LGD.
Yeah, the Korean players.
The Godv or Wayless
LG.
and
Oh,
PYL.
LG.
And
LG
PYL.
are top of the table right now. Send any of those fucking shitters.
I would send Godv and I would send PYL with EDG's non-Koreans.
The real
Wait,
interesting
who plays ADC?
the real interesting one is if they do have this all stars.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But if they do have this all stars, are they going to allow imports to compete? Because I don't
Wei
know.
Zhao.
Yeah,
I should bring Wei Zhao out of
actually-
retirement for it.
I'm pretty sure
Come on
they.
in, buddy.
Wait, they did a lot. We had all sorts last year. We had
But that wasn't proper all stars though. It was like just kind of fun fan games.
Yeah.
no, but yeah, those all sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
They actually want to
So
do.
you
Remember
all-
this?
They want to do 2013 All Stars over again.
yeah,
With
that was
multi-
that was what I heard. Was that they were doing MSI and 220. That was why there was no fan voting section at MSI because they're planning on having that in a later tournament. That's why you can't find the dates for when.
Yeah.
season
I was wondering where the hell is the rest of the OGN season.
Yeah,
It's nowhere.
yeah. I think that's why because I think
No, they're running All Stars before the spring 2016 split. That's where they're running All Stars.
Over the winter.
Yeah,
Between Worlds?
after.
Yeah. It's like afterwards, so it's like in the off season. No one gives a fuck about it.
No.
Yeah. You know what would be the best thing
Well,
though
this
is
whole
that
hypothetical topic is pointless. Then sorry guys.
China could send a Korean team from just Chinese players, only jungle. Only jungle. You could send Cacao, you could send Swift,
Dandy,
Spirit, Dandy, and
Insect.
Zero, because Zero played
Insect.
jungle.
You had
He
Insect.
played jungle.
Right.
Insect was left as well, you know.
I know, but I'd still rather have Zero over
Okay.
Insect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you
Shit, tell
have
me more
4...
about
I think they were Korean. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes. Shit.
I mean, Zero bombed in jungle, but you still have Dandy, Cacao, Spirit, and Swift. Just everyone take Smite.
Someone would. No, there's no long-term.
Right, is there anything else you wanted to go over?
I think that's pretty much it. I think we went a bit crazy at the end, but
It was fine.
it was fun.
I just want to point out, like, since next week is halftime, I mean, half of the split is gone. We probably want to kind of do a full recap of the like teams and how we're gonna look at the next split, at the next half of the season.
Yeah, we'll do a big breakdown team by team how each team's season has gone so far, what we can expect from the next season, and any kind of roster changes we'd like to see and whatnot. and obviously we'll cover the week's games as well, and we'll
go for the 4 good ones.
Yeah,
Sick.
As well. Next season, I mean next half of the season, whatever. The next thing, get hyped.
Yeah. Okay. So,
thanks for putting on the show still well.
Yeah.
You can add any shoutouts?
No real shoutouts. Just thanks. Retweet my memes on Twitter and Reddit, and people that actually read my articles that are terrible.
Come on.
Shout out to Monte Cristo for who's never gonna watch this, by the way, probably.
I'll personally spam him for 3 days, so he'll watch it.
Dude, he retweeted my Kuro article, and like I had Kuro even personally respond. He was like, "I like this." Gorilla followed me on Twitter afterward. I was so hyped. Like, man. But yeah,
I read your NALCS wrap up. Fucking spot on, hilariously spot on.
That was funny. That's true.
Like
I read that
on
too.
the nose.
Alright.
God, it sucks so much dick.
It's still
That's
funny to
just
read. It's
God.
hilarious. Yeah. Okay.
I guess
That's about it.
we'll wrap up here.
Yeah.
Thanks for.